right. Let's let the world load in first. This is my main base. It always takes a second or two to load in because it is pretty heavy demand. All right. So I've pre-set up a chest already. I'm just going to take everything from here. Yeah, see if the glitch is still loading in. All right, I'll take everything from here. That should give me enough to build some wheels, thrusters, balloons if needed, and the substructure, an extra chest or two if I need it. All right, let's go. So where we're going to be building this, I'll show you here in a second. All right, so the dry valley is there, and it's that large tower I'm going to build it on. It's where we're going to head to, but I've got a number 8, wherever number 8 is. Oh, there it is. Bus stop already in place. See a bunch of work already done in order to get this ring in place. I had it's a large swivel at the top with 4 arms all equal distance so that it would allow me to build the ring around the whole outside edge. I'll show you that here in a second. I know I've missed my bed. There it is. All right, let's sleep through the night because that's always a pain in the ass. All right, let's offload some of these things here. I don't need nearly as much of these as I've got right now. I'll put a couple here as well. I've already got a couple there from the last time I was building. All right, let's actually knock down another chest as well. All right, so let's go take a look and see what I've got set up so far. So essentially I've got a large arm here that I built all equal distance. I did a bunch of pre-mapping out on what I wanted to do. The brown down here, this is a walking platform, and this is just temporary. This is just so I can move around. The gray ring will be the substructure foundation that I've already put in place, and that's what I use these arms for, just rotating around and nudging them into place. Now the intention is we're going to stick the substructure on. So this is the magic piece here that holds the whole thing together. That's why it's colored a little bit differently. So I can see that's the one I floated up and stuck in the sky a couple months ago. It's been a long ongoing project. And then I fixed 4 other pieces using these arms that came out here. I fixed all 4, so this one here as well. I fixed all of these in place so that they would be exactly on the 4 quadrants, right? North, south, east, and west. But we'll start with this one over here because this is the main piece, and we'll start from here. So it's going to be a bunch of repetition. All right, for this one I'll use a different color. So what we need to do is snap everything together in such a way that it's going to be, okay, this one I'll leave it a different color as well here. So that top one's going to be permanent. The bottom 2 are going to be broke out. Actually, I think I want to change this already. It's important that I have them mixed colors so that I can tell what's going on so that I don't accidentally destroy something I don't want to destroy. Especially this brown one I'm standing on right now, because if that comes down, it is going to be a nightmare. A lot of work would be wasted. That's why I highlighted a different color. All right, let's actually, because this is going to be one of the main ones, I'm going to start by sticking on a couple of these outsiders. I'm not going to do this for every one, just on the 4 quadrants at this point. Later on, we'll add them on because the thing is so heavy. In order to get it to rotate, I need to have balloons attached. So these are going to be used later on to attach balloons. All right. I don't want to keep swapping back and forth all the time, so I think I'll be all right on. Maybe I should swap back and forth all the time. The browns are going to get destroyed there. Sorry, let me just think for a second how I want to do this, because I want to make sure that I know what I'm going to destroy later on without accidentally making a disaster. Yeah, I think I will swap back and forth. Actually, it's going to be a bit of a pain, but I think here as well, I'm going to change this up. Yep, just barely. Go with. Okay, now it's just a bunch of repeating everything over and over again. Essentially, each one of these is going to be where the wheel is going to be placed. So you have a foundation. The browns are just going to hold it up and make sure that when you're all done, everything will be circular. We'll attach all these together here. I'll show you that in a little bit. But first, we're going to do the whole loop around. I guess we don't have to hold the whole loop. I can start at any time attaching them. But I'm going to do the whole loop. So I'll go farther. Yeah, this is going to be a very, at least the bottom here is going to be very repetitious. Once we get to the part where I'm actually designing the build itself, it's going to be a little nicer. No, we're going to leave that one alone for a moment because it's a, oh no, I can do that one as well. Now I'm going to add on, all those ones are really important. The 4 corners, because it'll keep everything symmetrical and aligned. So I need to be a little bit more careful about identifying which ones those are. I'm actually going to put markers on them here. I learned that the hard way, trying to figure out where the start and where the end was previously. And I did the experimenting in creative. Stick these on this one as well. Follow the hole. All right, 25% done. That's working all right for a time, I think. So I use the bottom one to set the anchor to the piece, so it's got the right angle. The top one I set back one because when the wheel is, you see when I put the wheel on there, I want it to be as lined up as close as I can to the center of the gray ring, so the tire stays in place. We're going to put a buffer ring around the outside as well, so that the thing doesn't fall off. But I don't know if I'll get that. I'll probably get that done today as well. That's going to require a bit more platform I need to get underneath, I think, in order to do that. Let's see. It was so much easier when I could fly. In Creative Plus, I did it essentially right on the ground. So I didn't have to deal with this. Hopefully I worked out all of the kinks, or at least most of them. Although I did experiment a few different times on how to do it. Broke it and rebuilt it a few times. Okay, there's the important one again. I'm just going to put this one out so I don't mess it up. Right. See, look how I already messed up. Get rid of this. Yeah, no. Okay. That one. Like a little mini game as well. I have to jump back and forth without falling into the abyss. Right. I'm always surprised how fast it gets dark when you're building. It seems like the 15 minutes of daylight does not last very long. I have the illuminator, but I really don't like it when I'm building just because all the little floaty stars start to interfere with my reticle for the build, and then I start placing things in the wrong spot. I like the glow, I don't like the dots. And this, just head back to my bed for a moment here and see things. Where's my launch pad? You got launch pads everywhere because then you won't fall down. Go sleep for the night. All right, let's try this again. Almost 3/4 of the way done. Let me slap this one in first here. All right, that is 3/4 exactly. I predict I'm going to end up building a whole bunch of this scaffolding in order to get in and around. Did some calculations. I figure my whole build in the other world is only about 500 pieces. And by the time I get to the point that I'm building the upper structure, I won't need this scaffolding anymore. So I shouldn't hit my build limit. You never know, but I should be all right. That's without any decor or anything inside, which I don't really decorate a whole lot of decor in most of my builds anyways, other than somewhere where it's going to be visible all the time. But a lot of my buildings are empty just because of that build limit. I don't want to use up all my resources on the decor items, or on my limits or memory capacity. Right, a lot of stretch. Okay, so I've used these pieces on the side here. So the main ones I've already put in place, the 2x8 or the 2x6s for attaching balloons, thrusters, stuff to, etc. But for all of them, because they're so close, I'm not going to be able, like I'll show you, if I try to put this one in here, it's probably going to hit. So I'm not going to be able to do it in all of them. So what I've got to do is, I want as much as I can so that I can anchor as many things as I can. So I'm going to use a combination of the 4 and the 6. So here I'll use the 4 because I can't fit the 6 in. And then we'll be going back and forth essentially. Some places I will be able to, but not everywhere. Like there, see, it just perfectly aligns so I can get both of them in. So it's exactly what I want. If I can get the 2 6 pieces, I'll put the 2 6 pieces. If I can't, I'll have to occasionally put in the smaller 4 piece. Yeah, like there I can't. So I'll put the smaller 4 piece. Hopefully more often than not, I can get the larger ones in. Because we also need to attach all these things together. I'm not going to rely just on these. I'm going to put in another anchor point. So basically what I'm going to make is a second ring. So the first ring is already in place, the foundation ring everything's attached to. This one is going to form another ring. This ring will be the movable ring that will circulate around on the wheels. See, and those, even though those are angled, those should be now connected to each other permanently. So if I broke one away, it would still be anchored in place, which is what I'm going to need to do to make this circle work. We did so good, and now it's like so many of them are not fitting. I really want as many as I can to be consistent here, so I'm going to break it out. Go from this side all the time. So I'm going to have to, I mean, it's ridiculous how many balloons I'm going to stick on there because this thing is so heavy. In order to get it to rotate, I have to stick a whole ton of balloons on there. Oh, let's see, that one's, oh, I'm stuck. Oh, there we go, yeah. A little bit of lag. I don't like lag when I'm working at heights either. It can be a little terrifying. All right, So this one's actually a huge one because my circle wasn't perfect. I had to, every one of them has this little piece of 4 stuck in there. So I'm going to actually stick on another little tiny piece here. I'm gonna put some signifying markers on. Actually, maybe let me take a look at that right now. What can I stick on there? I think I'll stick. There's these little things from Ravens, or the Halloween house, I think they are. I can't remember. I never remember which one, but where are they? Where are they? They're really tiny. Ah, there. The white ones and the black ones. So I think I'll stick that on. I'm just thinking I need to have another beam coming out later on. So I think I'll just stick a black one on this. I'll stick a white one on the prime one. This will signify to me later on when this thing rotates where everything is, where it at least started from. Can I fit another 4? No. So we will stick in the small one. These are all the trial and errors that I learned the hard way previously. I don't play sandbox very much, but when I opt to take on an ambitious build, oh, out of wood. There's the bed. Is when I take on these ambitious builds, I make sure to test them out first. A little rolling rock. All right. I might have underestimated. I may need more. At least it's big enough that you don't get dizzy going around in a circle here. It's going to be too tight. And you can see down here this little tiny piece I have underneath. That's what's attaching all these together. Even though they might be close enough, like these two are definitely close enough that they would anchor themselves. But, and I think they are. I didn't put an anchor piece underneath that one, it doesn't look like. But in quite a few, I've got this extra little piece. We're going to do that as well on this upper loop, just to make sure we don't end up having it accidentally come apart on me. All right, it's that time, isn't it? Let's find this launch pad. Go. And 6 in the morning. All right. What was not the one that I ran into? Oh, maybe it was this one. What was the one I hit into the platform at? I got to move that one. Yeah, that's the one I've got to move at some point. Yeah, it's right underneath this platform. Actually, let me just move that right now. It's granite. It's destroyed. That's what I despise about working in any area. You just end up all the different creatures just come in and end up destroying so much stuff that you just end up being barren around your whole area. All right, let's put the launch pad here. I'm actually, this glitch that just happened, I know it was devastating for a lot of people, but for me, it was brilliant. It brought back so much of the stuff that had been accidentally destroyed by creatures or by my clumsiness, and just parts of my world, especially around my main village, just look so much better all of a sudden having this extra trees and everything back again. I wish it would have brought back everything. I see it didn't bring back like corn or raspberries and such. Of course, I don't think it brought back. I don't know. I didn't pay attention enough in my world to see if it brought back rocks, but I don't think it did. I wish they would just make all of the trees, because a lot of the smaller trees all grow back. I wish they would just make all of the trees grow back, unless you dug them out with a shovel. I'm always devastated when one of my big trees gets destroyed by a brute, or I run into it with my flying ship and destroy it. You know what I'm thinking I'm going to do as well? I think I'm going to put the extension on these ones. Yeah, let me run back here. Get that pickaxe out of my hand, actually. So I don't accidentally destroy some. Okay, there it is. I don't think I can reach out there, so let's do the jump. All right. Careful, careful, careful. Look. Yeah, I'll put a short piece on this one. And then that way I'll also know that every one of these quadrant corners is extra long as well. Just another way to signify that it's right. Yeah, just like that one there. All right. Oh, I should put that little black piece on there as well. Yeah, stick right there. That's a little bit tedious, isn't it? One thing I do like about building up this high is that you don't really get bothered by too many mobs. I don't have a village square set up for this one yet, because I have just on the other side over here by between the lake and there, you can see it right there. There's I got a village right down there. And it's got a village square, and it's too close to this one. And I haven't come to it, this one's. There's not much there. It's just a very basic. It's a level 10, but it's the most basic of basic villages. This is essentially going to be the replacement for that village. Although I'm going to have to go hunt my villagers down again, unfortunately. But this will be the replacement for that village. But I'm not at the point now where I'm ready to remove that one. Here, I'm going to need to crank out a whole bunch of sandstone here, and that would be my main base for cranking out sandstone. Too small. Oh no, it just gets there. Oh, maybe not. It shows it can, but let's try. Sometimes if you go the opposite way, it works. You get too close and it just doesn't let you, but no, it says no. It's annoying. Okay. So, let's go back the way we were. I was hoping I'd be able to squeeze it in there, but every extra balloon I can get. I'm hoping I have enough silk. Although I don't use my auto farm very much anymore because of the picking speed. It was really important when you had to slow pick everything. Lag. But now that you can fast pick everything, I don't use the auto farm very much, so I can always go rob some balloons off of my auto farm. Right. Almost 3/4. Short line here. Let's mark it. The reason I pull those to the back as well is that I did find that if I had any of these other structures too close to the main beam or the wheels, it caused some resistance for the turning. I wasn't able to rotate the build anymore. So I just need to make sure I got enough clearance. Because you saw in some of those, like I could have probably attached it if I would have left them a little bit farther out where the diameter was a little bit larger, but I don't want to risk having this floating circle, eventually floating circle, inadvertently attaching to the, or being held up by the fixed circle. So close. My scaffolding here lacks in a few places where it gets a little narrow like that. Those are the places I'm going to end up falling off for sure. I think I've only fallen to my death once or twice while I was building the outside ring. It was a little bit more precarious because I didn't have a lot of the structure in place at the start. Like I didn't have all the scaffolding. I was working off those little beams and basically just working off that rotating structure. Oh, yeah, perfect. All right. Stick this one onto there. And then I'm going to signify this one with a white one because this one is super important. I might have to move those later on as it might get in the way. All right, what do I got in the way of resources? I got a fair amount. Okay, so I got 30. Yeah, I should have enough wood. Okay. Let's move the pickaxe. Okay, now I'm just going to take a, I guess it doesn't matter which one. You can see now these two, I wanted to make sure that they overlap as much as possible. So you can see now that they overlap, so those two will be stuck together. So I'm just going to do that essentially every single one of these. I'm just going to add on an overlap. Unfortunately, the diameter, just got to see where that connection is. I want them as symmetrical as possible. So it's essentially, since I'm working with a 6, actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to, for these, I like, sorry, my OCD, I like to be a little symmetrical. since I'm working with a 6, I guess it would have been fine there. I would like it to be those two, but I still sleep. I cannot in the dark. I'd like to be as symmetrical as possible. So those being 6s, I'll put 3s on each side. There we go. That'd be all a lot easier now. There's 3. It's a bit of a gap, so it'll be 2 on that side. Yeah, close enough. My OCD is going to have to suffer a bit because there's no way this is going to be perfect. To be fair, I don't have OCD, but I do like to have everything as symmetrical as possible. At least for this. Some things I like it where it's definitely not symmetrical, but for this type of stuff, my engineering background does not allow me to not line up where possible. Let's go there. I feel like I'm going to fall off here shortly. Let's tightrope. There. After this, we'll stick the wheels on. I'm not going to stick the balloons on just yet. I won't put the balloons on until we get some real weight on it. I need to be a little bit careful with that as well because I did have a fly off in my creative world. And then I had to try to fly it back on. That's part of the reason it doesn't turn anymore. I've had to try to fix it so many times. I get disoriented on which side of the build I'm on. I think I'm about halfway now. Yeah, I think that's halfway. No, it's touched. It's touched. I thought there was a bigger gap there for a second. Some lag. All right. There we go. 3/4 of the way. 3/4. I'm gonna get sick of hearing me count out how many times I've gone around it. Almost back at the start. Good. And last one. All right, that should be the entire circle. And that's all completely connected, which means now all these extra supporting pieces that I have, I can break out. Now, let me just think about that before I do it, just to make sure I don't end up. I think I will, except for those. I think I'll leave all 4 of the ones, like those ones there. This might be easier said than done without a lower. I think it's time actually to build a lower platform, because I'm going to need to get underneath all of that in order to do this. I don't want to try swinging and break something by accident. All right, let's do that. Build some scaffolding underneath. Maybe not from there. Let's build it from here. This time I'm going to make it a bit bigger around. This is going to be a pain, I can tell already. That's not what I want to do. In order to save myself a trip going around, I think I'll start to knock these out at the same time. Okay, that's the good one. So let's. This is so scary. Well, unless I hit those main. Pieces that I've got as my 4 corner anchors, I should be all right, even if I make a mistake. Although I'd really prefer not to have to come in and redo anything. Maybe I should go with Kaboom's pick don't, or punch don't pick. Yeah, actually, you know, I might. I might do that because it could be devastating if I did the wrong thing at the wrong time. That's not gonna happen. Can I reach down? Yes, I can. All right, it'll take a bit longer, but it's a lot safer. All right. Good advice, Kaboom. Good advice. And into the dark. Which is still 2 down, all right. And this one, put out the next one. Leave that one in place. Try to look where I'm stepping. Sorry, I don't live stream very much, so I'm kind of new at this, but thanks a lot, Dwayne, for commenting. Appreciate you checking out my channel. I don't imagine this is more suited for some very specific type of creators. It's not probably appealing to most people. It's a little bit finicky building. But hopefully when it's done, it will look super impressive. Kind of maxed out my main base, and I'm very happy with it. I'm looking for a second base to start using as my main base. My storage is incredibly full at my main base, so I need another spot. I don't want to start just adding more on. I'm at my build limits on half the base, so I need to find somewhere else I can start putting things. So my idea will be to start migrating myself over to this side. I just want to make sure I don't knock off the wrong one. I'm still okay. It's still a couple more ahead. Yeah, so hopefully this will be my new future base. My intention is the rotating part that I'm working on now probably won't get, I mean, I'll probably use it for some storage, but it's more for show, just show and to see what I can accomplish. But I think that realistically up on the top of the spire is probably where I will make another levitating platform. It won't, I might make it rotate on a swivel. I don't know yet. I haven't got that far down my thought pattern, but it'll be a much simpler build and something that I can manage a little easier and work with for a base rather than, oh, where's enough fire in there we go. Work with as a base without having the complexities of, it's not locking in. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't find the snap point very often. Okay, so this one can go, next one stays. Okay, that one stays, and that one goes. Exactly. Steak, perfect. Perfect with the picked on punch because I would have knocked out the other one if I was picking. We're going to need these as well for we need a stabilizer ring on this outside as well, so I'm going to need to use this underneath scaffolding for that as well. I might have to even make it larger. My intention is to do a whole bunch of flipping pieces on the bottom. On my previous one, after I got all the substructure built, I don't want it to look ugly from the bottom. I want it to look nice. I don't want to just see all these balloons and wheels. So I actually made a covering at the bottom. And for my trial, I just did them in the upright position. But like these bottoms here where you can see the holes, it's all right. It's Lego, and that's what it's supposed to look like. But I do like it more when it's, I don't like where this piece is at. I do like it more when it's more the studs showing. And I'm probably going to end up flipping all the pieces. So when you look up from the bottom, you're just going to see, because I'm going to use the Moss Isley kit, you're going to see more of the flat tan color and the few studs in place rather than the holes on the bottom, which is personal preference. I like it more, but unfortunately that means I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of flipping pieces because every one of these I'm pretty much going to have to flip. You'll see what I mean here in a bit once I get to that point. That'll be one of the things that'll come on later. It's more superficial. It's not fundamental. What I'm doing here is fundamental. It's the structure, all that is just to kind of hide it afterwards. All right. I do like when I hit the side that is symmetrical, or at least the north, south, east, west. It's a little easier to build the structures on. Let's come back. Where is this piece? It's not this one. All right, two more. North side. This one goes. That one stays. And hold on, I gotta almost time to sleep through the night again. That is it. All right. Right, and over here. Almost done this round. I should have actually made a counter how many times I go around in circles on this build. Could have just been adding it up the entire time. So what are we, like 1, 2, at least 3 times around already. One for the anchor points, one for the sides. You know, this is the 4th round. Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep track. 4 rounds. I'm betting we're gonna be in the 50 range by the time I'm completely done. Right. The underneath is finished. on, lagged out. Come on. That's a hole I could fall in. Is there anyone there? All right, just one more. And then it's just 4 anchors. All right. Let's take a look. All right. Okay, looking good. I think it's on to the tires. All right, for this one, I tried, so we're gonna use the power tires because I need as much, I'm gonna need more than 77 wood. So let's get some wood first. I tried the small power tires just aren't good enough at all. I tried the medium power tires, tried large, and I thought I could make it a little cleaner by using the medium power tires, but it struggled to turn so bad. So I went back on my creative model and replaced it and put in the big tires again. So big tires is what I'm going to go with. And I'm not going to change, so they should all, I got to try and get this to snap. This is where it becomes a little finicky because I want them to all be, it's still touching everything. Why is it touching everything? I need them to be the exact same spot on every one. And that's not where I want it. And here I have to pick slowly, slowly. Okay. So I want it to be right there, I think. That's like the edge. That's centered. Yeah, so I want it to be there on every single one. That should be it. Just gotta double check. Yes, okay, get rid of the pick for now. So I don't accidentally break anything. Okay. So now we're on to round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Round 5. Just double check everyone just to make sure I don't end up within the wrong spot. Right. That's right. Should do a count here. Figure out how many I've got. I think it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Sorry, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 20. Four. So it'll be 60. Should be 60. So that's 30 right there, and I'm halfway now. So yeah, 60 tires. Nope, not in the right place. Swap. Yeah, I should have enough material on me. That's right. Yep. Yep. Sometimes it's hard to tell which angle, if I'm in the right spot or not. When I actually snap it in there. I could use the. Should have actually used the building part square piece. In hindsight, yes, I should have used this one here because then I could just clip to it. But it's all right. I'm not gonna redo that. That's for sure. All right, where is my jump pad? Because it is getting dark. I don't want to work in the dark. Oh, what? Well, we knew it was going to happen at least a couple of times. I don't know why that one happened. I don't think I opened my chute. All right, first things first, put that back. There we go. I have to play that back later and take a look. I don't think I opened my chute. Maybe I did. So I carried a bunch of extra charms though, just for that, because I knew it was going to happen a few times. Yes, it is in place. I'm paranoid about making sure my total return is in place. Too much time and effort into this world to lose it for a stupid mistake. Should almost be back now, huh? Lagged out. Okay, and we are back to the start. So that's all 60 wheels in place. Now we have to work on the outside ring that holds the wheels from falling off. So they won't fall inwards. As long as they've got outside ring, they won't fall inwards. It's only going to fall outwards. So we need to make a... Just got to think for a second how I want to do it. Because I'm going to want to invert pieces, and it might be better to invert now rather than later. Do I have any sandstone? I do. Let me just go play around for a second. All right, if I... So I'm going to do just a bit of playing here. Let's make a mock organization. Now, if I put on some flooring on the bottom, I need to come out two, and let's get the right wall that I'm going to use anyways. Half walls, and we might as well just click all of them because I'm going to need them all, and it'll be my quick menu. So if I stick it there, that's essentially what I'm going to want on all. I need a 2 gap so it doesn't hold up the tire, and I need a 2 gap, but because I want the bottom to be flipped, I'm just wondering if I should flip this piece first. It might be less tedious than trying to flip it later, especially when I'm going to use those bottom pieces to be the anchors as well. Let's flip the first one. We'll flip the first one, and we'll build from there, and we'll see how it looks, and then I'll make a decision. Oh, then we can think about it. Well, let's do the first one. All right. Which one is matched up? It's this one. So let's flip off this one. That way it won't be in the way. I'm going to use that piece to flip. Oh, I don't like that one. Okay, let's try not to ruin everything here. Press that. I guess it isn't aligned. Okay. Let's just do it off of here. Yeah, I think my idea of doing this is going to cause me a lot of headaches, but I want it to look good afterwards, so let's go with a skinny piece first. punch that. I don't think I can. Oh, I can. I can. All right. Even better. All right. 2 out. But I don't want it to be there. Let's get a different piece. 4x4. Let's do that one. Yeah, I think that'll work. So I think I might have to do a whole bunch of rounds of this. The idea is now I will slap on this, but I need it to go. No, I made a mess of that. That's not what I want. So let's. Can I break that one? Nope, of course not. Look at this. A 6er. Yeah, that's the one I need. It should go there. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. I guess it will work. It'll work. Because I can slap on a piece on the bottom. All right. Let's get some elevation here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, that is the idea. That will hold all of the wheels in place. It'll give me enough of a gap later on. I can't have, like above it here, I need to have a bit of a gap still. Because when I have the top rotating platform, I can't have it too close or it'll touch. So there'll be a bit of a gap, but you won't really notice it because of the scale of the whole build. Then this will allow me to, let me just get rid of this one without destroying anything critical. That's so scary, it's so scary. So the idea is I will slap down I'm not going to do it all right now. This is strictly just to demonstrate, but I'm going to put like a plate like this on the bottom so it covers up everything underneath. So from the bottom, you'll only see this, as opposed, I didn't want it to be where you see all these holes. I want it to be the smooth side. So it means a whole bunch of flipping. So now a huge monotonous task of just repeating what I just did over and over and over again. All right, so it's pretty close to lined up there. Okay. Just thinking how I will find this, the best way to do this. I think I'll do everything underneath first. So so if it lines up here, 1, 2, slap that there. And then I'll put down one of these to be the upside down piece. So I think I'm going to do this all the way around. All right, but now that it's already dark, let's sleep through the night. Actually, let me destroy this. I don't need this anymore. Click, 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 and click. There we go. Okay, let's do it without dying this time. was the longest sleep through the night ever. Okay. So, duck, 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 duck. There we go. Okay. And I need the sixer. Clipped off this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right in the middle. Okay. Yeah, once you get down to, I kind of try to do it in like a systematic pattern so that we kind of come to a flow as you do it. Do one set of tasks that aren't too much moving around if you don't have to, and then I find it becomes a little bit faster than trying to, because I could go around and put the top wall on as well, but then I end up doing a whole bunch of moving up and down. I think putting the top wall on will be easier once I've got all these flipped pieces in place. One, two, three, four. Yeah, Wounded Paws. Yes, this is my expert world. I did at the start. I did experiment in creative first, and I played around with it on the ground level. And yeah, now we are in expert world. And yeah, if you want one, hopefully I show you enough tutorial you can get through it and build it. But it is going to require a lot of resources and some patience and a whole bunch of totems of return. And thanks for commenting, man. Appreciate it. Come on, line up. There we go. Actually, I just put a comment back in there so anybody else popping in later will be able to see. Watch my footing. Um, I feel you, but I have gotten to the point where I've set a set of rules for myself where I'm fairly confident I won't lose my expert world. Now I knock on wood, of course, because it can always happen. But I actually put out a video on that as well. On the, I wouldn't say there's any tricks. I mean, the only thing you need to do to not lose your expert world is have a totem of return equipped. Sometimes that's easier said than done. I'm far enough along in my world. I've probably got 100 totem returns. I always have extras. Like I'm carrying one on me now. I've already died once in this stream. I've got a couple more in the chest up above where my bed is, where I'm respawning. And anywhere that I do respawn, I always have a few more totems. And I've just kind of set some rules for myself. I don't always carry a backup totem return. When I'm doing something sketchy like this, I do. Uh, but I do make sure that I have totems anywhere I'm going to have a spawn bed. There's a totem of return there. So if I do die, immediately I wake up. The first thing I do is put on a totem of return. And I mean, I have died every possible conceivable way, and I'm still here, fortunately. But I think I like the risk of it, honestly, in a way, and the challenge of like I really have to grind for everything. I kind of like that. It's appealing to me, I guess. So for me, it's worth it. But I mean, I would be devastated if I did die. Well, thank you very much for watching. I did see that Kaz lost his world again. Kaz needs to watch my video on how not to lose his expert world. I felt so bad for him, and it's just. I mean, it's no glitch. It's nothing. It's just when you forget that you those what I call my basic fundamental rules of making sure that you have a totem available at all times and always make sure it's equipped. I mean, when I log in, that's the first thing I do is I check and make sure that I have my totem equipped just in case there is. I've never had it happen, but just in case there's a glitch. But I can feel for him. There has been a couple times where I have been my own fault, very close to losing my world. I remember I was in the storm dungeon. I got killed by the lobbers in one of the attacks. I was a little pissed off. I respawned. I picked up my new totem out of the chest, but then I didn't for some reason I didn't equip it. I just had it in my inventory, and I went back in, and halfway through the fight again, I realized that I didn't have it equipped, and I just went back up to the previous level in the dungeon and put it on, and that was close. That was close. I just died there, and I just died there, and here I go back in again without putting the totem on. That was the closest I've ever come. Leg. Yeah, I do like General Romulus as well. I follow him as well. Yeah, it's super easy just to become complacent. I'm super diligent about it. I mean, even when I'm doing regular gameplay like this, I'm constantly looking down for the little icon just to make sure that it's there. Put one more and then go sleep through the night. Actually, forget it. I'm going to go sleep through the night now. I hate when it gets dark. All right. I'll do a big flyover just in case you didn't see it the start, just so you can get an idea of the scale of the bill. You can see my village down there on the right side of the screen. That's my existing village, which I'm going to replace with this village once it's done, which will be just a rotating village here, and I'll probably build the village square up on top. Where did I leave off? Somewhere down here. There we go. Thanks for sticking around, because this is going to be a long repetitive build, that's for sure. I mean, even my sandbox, it was quite a chore. I kind of put it off. It's been months that I've had this foundation built. And I kind of just got distracted by other things and didn't play on this too much. And now I'm coming back to it. And I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to try out streaming as well, because it's not something you can. This isn't something you can do a tutorial on, I don't think. I mean, you could, I guess, but it's fairly complicated. Yeah, I'm hoping when it's done, it'll look really cool. I'm hoping that it actually turns. Will be the idea, that I can get it to come in there and rotate. I tried to automate the rotation so that every time I log in my world, it would do it. I can't do it without using the tires. I tried it with just rockets originally. It's just so heavy and bulky that it takes too much. So I'm going to have to do it manually. So I'm going to have to, in order to get it to look cool, I'm going to have somebody else rotate it, and then I can do some filming on it. I've set up like a dummy account that I can do that with, but yeah, I'm hoping it rotates. I'm hoping it continues to rotate. My luck with builds like this aren't that great. I tried my storm dungeon. I put in some doors, and they worked really good for a while. But now when I go back there, they don't really function properly. So every time I've got to tweak them, which is really annoying. I get frustrated having to tweak things you've already done just because the game dynamics change. Yeah, I'm glad you like it, man. Thank you. Hopefully it turns out the way I want it. I mean, worst case, it doesn't turn. It'll still exist like it does in my sandbox, where it no longer turns, and it'll still look incredibly cool, I'm sure. I mean, I love it. So it'll still look cool even if it doesn't turn. If I could get it to turn, then it'll look even better. think we're getting close to halfway around. You know, I think I'm spending too much effort on this. I don't think I need. I mean, I don't need that extra piece. Why don't I do this instead? You know, you get halfway through and then realize, hey, you're wasting your time. You could be like, I can cut one whole step out of the whole process. Only takes me 15 minutes to figure that out, but that's all right. Oh yeah, now it'll go much faster. I should have wrote like an instruction manual to myself. I did actually do some sketched out drawings of what it needed to look like, so I didn't have to keep going back and forth to my template. But it's a bit of makeup on the go as well, because I put a lot of effort into the one that I did there, but then from the trial and error and learning, I realized that I need to do some things differently, but I didn't want to redo it all there. So some of it I haven't, this will be the first time I'm doing it officially. Like this flipping it upside down, I didn't do before. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, almost halfway. It's definitely going to be a multi-stream project. I think if I can get this base done today with the skirt, I think that'll be it for today. And then I probably have to flip that one upside down too, but I think I'll wait. Maybe we'll have to see once I put the borders on if I have to flip that or not. Leg it out. I gotta say the lag has gotten much better, at least for me. The lag has gotten much better in the last month or so. It still has its moments, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. I think also probably because I've learned how to deal with the lag, so it doesn't kill me as often. Do something a little differently here as well. Put a few of these in, make it a little faster. Too dark to see. Where's my jump pad? There it is. Yeah, it's tolerable now, huh? I find it's just lag too. I don't have much rubber banding at all anymore. Occasionally, but not nearly as bad as it was. All right, I think that's about a quarter, so all right, now I can just focus on one piece at a time. Yeah, that'd probably be good, but Mad Puck plays creative most of the time, and I play expert. I don't have that. I don't have that luxury to be able to turn them off. I love his work though, man. He does some amazing stuff. Like how realistic he makes them look to the actual, and not even all the stuff he makes is from sets. I mean, he makes some stuff that's just completely original. I mean, somebody should give him a job working on the Star Wars team for Lego themselves, man. His work is incredible. Yeah, I think it was a little bit better to go with the pads first. It's one of these builds that by the time I'm done with it, I will be an expert in it, but I'll be so exhausted I won't want to do another one again. I'll be sick of running around in the circle. Yeah, he's definitely the king of Star Wars. he is spectacular. That's 3/4. Perfect. I think it's 3/4. Yeah, that's get my orientation again. All right, we'll run the pressure plates around first. Oh, that's a narrow spot. Come on. Yeah, I'm glad I opted not to use the pickaxe. Normally I don't mind destroying something, but this one, with it being levitating, if I hit the wrong thing with the pickaxe, it could be disastrous. Yeah, the directional beacon, I love that thing. I didn't build one in my expert world because you can't drop the backpack, unfortunately, to make the beam. But I have a couple of them in my original survival world. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. It was one of the. It wasn't the first thing I built when I discovered that I could do the directional building. The first one, I think I'm going to make a tutorial on it. The first thing I made was actually Lego Henge. When I learned I could directionally build and flip things around. So if you watch my shorts, my very first short video was Lego Henge. It was like a minute video profiling what I'd come up with, and that was my first true test. But it was basically just directional, and I'd flipped some stuff on their sides. I hadn't really started sticking too much together, and then the Lego beacon, village beacon, that was the next one where I really started flipping things back and forth from upright to like upside down, upright, back and forth. I wish they would give you the ability to do the backpack drop in expert as well. I would actually play that too. If every time you died you had to go back and retrieve your backpack, I would turn that option on as well to have to go back and get it. but I would love to have that beam of light into the sky again here. Two more, two more. Sometimes you get underneath like this, it makes you almost dizzy. All right, so that is the whole circle around now to anchor everything to. So I should be able to use that now to do the next part of it, which is building the whole skirt. So I try to get the skirt up as close as I can to each other on the outside. But like you'll see, I want to have this one, so I'll put in a 2-block actually here, and then I'll put this one down. And there'll be some gaps. I mean, the part of the thing with directional building is the corners and stuff don't line up. Like you'll see these gaps, but they still look all right. Oh yeah, the elevation, building on different elevations and angles. Yeah, that's one of my most popular videos actually. I think there were so many people that wanted to be able to do that, join different elevations together. Definitely one of my, I think it's even more popular than my first original directional building video. Okay, time to sleep. Can't deal with the darkness. This is why a lot of my builds end up getting to their build limit. All these just filler pieces start adding up. From my calculations, though, I should be all right on this one. Excluding the balloons, I'm at about 500 pieces, I estimate, on my build. And then the balloons are probably another 500 balloons I'm going to need for this. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to add the, yeah, I'm going to add an inverted piece here as well. Don't fall. There we go. This one should be all right, though. I should be able to do this one fairly simple. Something like that. I still watch a lot of the Craftopia guys. Actually, that's where I started to like one of my early things when I did the directional building on the different elevations was from Hoskins. I had a tower that he designed that was absolutely brilliant. Uh, that I loved, like an elevator tower. And because you couldn't build on different directions, I had this huge elevator tower. And in that video, I actually destroyed his tower so I could build the monorail in a different direction. But he's got some really good stuff as well. And I really like Kaboom's stuff from Craftopia. The only issue, he loves his mechanical mayhem, and I mean, this is kind of going to pushing my limits on the mechanical side of things, and I know I'm going to be frustrated several times. He's got more patience than I do for having things click together and explode. Let's go with that one. Too big, too big. So even on this one, I won't detach it until I'm set, because the last thing I want is all these wheels to blow off. At least right now, they're all fixed in place, and I can't screw up. Well, I could screw up, but I can't screw up as easily. Small in. Oh. I like watching him blow his stuff up though. Sometimes it's quite entertaining. I feel the pain of it because I've had too many things blow apart. But it is quite entertaining to watch things blow apart. Small one in there first. All right, do the same thing here. button. That's going to cause me to, oh no, I messed it up completely. Well, not completely, but press the jump button instead of the lock in place button. There we go. Get rid of that pickaxe. Depending on my build limit, I might actually put in a big rotating staircase coming up this tower as well, but I'll build the critical stuff first and we'll see how my build limit goes before I attempt that. I'm actually thinking that my build limit might not, like once I break this free, I'm not 100% sure if this will contribute to my build limit or not. Because it's going to technically be a floating vehicle. Why didn't you stick there? Too close? Yeah. So yeah, once it's set free, it may actually not count towards my 4,000 build limit. Of course, I haven't figured out where the corners and the markers are. My main village, it actually is, the corner of it is of the 4,000 grid is kind of off in one corner of my village. So on one side of my village, I can't build anything anymore. On the other side, I still have some build capacity. Stick a small one here. I'll be all right still. Sleep again. Yeah, from the top, it looks. I like it too. It looks. Let's do another fly around just because I love looking at it as well. It's gonna look so crazy once it's done because these arms. I'll remove these arms. I probably don't even need them now. I just haven't bothered to remove them. But yeah, once it's complete, I think it'll look. It's gonna look amazing. Yeah, you just got to visualize that thumbnail where I did the mock-up stuck here. Oh, not enough resources. It was just over there too. Yeah, the amount of sandstone I can go through in this one is ridiculous. I've got a whole bunch built though. More sandstone there, but what else am I low on? Fairly low on wood. I don't think I need it. Granite. Don't take another granite as well, just in case. Everything else is good. Hey, Valley, how you doing, man? Glad you dropped in. Check out my craziness today. Don't fall off there. Let's go down and go direction there. No falling off. Should go for it. Jump on the side as well. No, it doesn't like it. Just a small one in there. Hey, I did actually play Brick Life because I wanted to get my decor sets, and I actually gave it a try. And I don't really care for the grinding through trying to get the creds, but I just took like the simplest builds. I took like the beachy lifeguard tower, and I took the most simple of the Shogun sets, and because I could do the most customization because there's not much there, and I built them all. I'll put on a couple shorts here in a little bit, but I actually had a lot of fun in Brick Life building those because you're really limited on what you can do, which makes you have to get a little bit more creative. It's not really the mode for me, but I gotta say, it was more fun than I anticipated doing those builds. Probably pass on the Brick Life for a little bit now, and then once I can't remember what they said, November 7th or November 11th when they do the next set of Simpson quests, then I'll probably pop back in again and maybe I'll check out another build by that time. I like if they make some changes to though. I noticed the render distance is absolutely abysmal. I mean, you barely move a few feet away from your build, and it totally disappears. Lagged? Yes, lagged. There we go. Yeah, it'd be nice if they fixed up the render distance. I know they pay 50 creds for somebody to go and rate your house and just give some feedback on it. I'd like it if they upped that a bit, or maybe had some competitions in Brick Life to have people go through and have like how they have the race, the soccer matches. Maybe they could have something where there was competitions to go through and rate people's properties because so many of those properties are way in the back where nobody ever sees them unless you're actually intending to go out and look for them. So I think a lot of people's properties kind of get missed. Let's fix this one up here. Okay, one last flip. I'm so glad they added this nudge up and down as well. That used to be such a pain. All right, the last piece for the skirt. Actually get the bigger one. Oh, that's an 8, isn't it? Yeah, so I'll have to do a... Oh, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. Okay, I'll go outside though. All right, that is the skirt completely built up and in. All right. So let me... Okay, so I'm going to put in the base plates for the... What other object? Oh, that stupid tire is in the way. I know why. Okay, let's do this first. Got to temporarily break out this tire because I need another piece on top here, and it won't allow me to put it in with the tire there at the same time. Is that the right height? Yeah, that's right. Because that's what the floor is going to sit on, is these pieces here. When I put the floor in place, I'll put 4 of these in, one on each side. Here as well. Yeah, I wish they would have let us unlock more the first day. It would have been nice actually to have the house the first day, and then the decor afterwards. Would have been nice. I guess I'll have to be patient and wait. At the right spot. Yeah, those are the same level and it's centered. So. Yeah, as soon as they do release the house, I think I'm going to replicate identical Simpson house. Hopefully they give you all the decor for the full Simpson house. I didn't really pay attention to see if it's everything. All right, I'll go sleep. Through the night. Yeah, I did see somebody post something about Ninjago coming out. I'm hoping that maybe it comes out on the November or the December, whenever the season is up. Hopefully it comes out then. I think Ninjago would have a lot of really cool pieces. Some new, more unique pieces. Just test and see if I can get a floor piece on here. Yeah, it goes over top of the tire. Okay. All right. Now, do I want to break it free? I don't think I want to break it free just yet on November 29th. So like a whole month almost, huh? I don't know if I got the patience. All right. I think that is going to be it, guys, for today. I think I'll work on the next part tomorrow. I need to go check out my sandbox mode again and just make sure that I've got some things in place. So let me do a flyover so we can see where we're at today. So we've got built. So it's looking pretty good already. I think once you get that up and it's rotating, I think it's going to look absolutely phenomenal. So I haven't played around with the new Simpsons set at all yet. I mean, to be fair, I use decor for building sometimes, but I'm not huge with decor just because I use up so much resources. Like you can tell by this build here, I end up spending all of my resources on structure itself rather than the decor. But I think once the Simpson house comes out, then I'll build the Simpson house and then play around with it a bit there, and we'll see. I mean, I like the Simpsons, but I don't think it's my favorite build style. I usually like the more detail, like the Moss Eisley. Here, let's take a look. What do I like? So I haven't played too much with Draft Punk, but I really like the idea of it. I like a lot of stuff from Daily Bugle. The first server I haven't played around, but there's some really cool stuff in there as well. I like some of the friendly neighborhood stuff, especially having the red colors. The Town Hall, Halloween, a couple builds with those. I mean, I've manipulated them a bunch, but I really like that. I like some of the roofing and detail work on the haunted house, but I'm not such a big fan of the green walls, although it is nice to have some selection. I did build a village out of the Nana Jungle, which I quite like, but it's got to be very specific to that. Moss Eisley, I really like. I spend a lot of time with those sets. The Palm Paradise, not sure about the colors, but I do like the look of it, actually. Raven's Roost, I build a lot with this. I build a lot with the Salty Seaport. Some with the Shogun Palace. I've got an idea for the Tomato Temple one, and I've kind of built the substructure of where it's going to be, but I just got to get around to it. It's one of those things. I haven't really played too much with the Supernova yet. I do like the white, but I don't have anything that yet in mind that really fits in with that stuff. So we'll get to it. We'll get to those at some point in the future. So anyways, thank you very much for checking out the stream today. I'll probably be back tomorrow as well, and I will work on the next part of this. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you very much for all the feedback on YouTube in the comments. That is wonderful, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.